Yo, we need to talk about this Vini situation, bro. No intro today, no fancy bells and whistles, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting straight into the meat and potatoes. So basically, if you're living under a rock, yesterday, Benfica was playing Real Madrid. I think it's the Stadio de Luz, is what it's called, the Benfica Stadium. And one of the Benfica players, allegedly, this one guy, I forgot it was something Prestiani, called Vinicius Jr. a racial slur.
En de goal, filho da puta! En de goal, filho da puta! En de goal, filho da puta! Animal do caralho! Não, filho da puta! Vai, 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 vai!
Which is kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. It's 2026, and we're still doing this. Come on, man. Come on. What are we doing here, bro? It's 2026. Come on, brother. Come on. Come on. Come on. And you know, the worst part about this is the fact that the nigga closed his mouth like this so that we wouldn't see what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be racist, stand on it, bro. Don't be a bitch. Stand on that shit. Stand on it. If you're going to be a bigot, stand on it. You know, and Prestiani said, nah, I didn't call him a nigga. I called him the F slur, which is, I don't know which is worse. That, no, it's definitely calling him a nigga. That's crazy. Because, you know, I know they don't celebrate Black History Month, but brother, it is Black History Month, man. What are we fucking doing here, bro? 2026, still calling players niggas. And I'm seeing people saying that, nah, it was justified. Vinny deserves it. You know, I'm not one to defend racism, and I'm like against racism, and I'm against all that kind of prejudice and shit. But Vinicius deserves it. You know, he's kind of a prick. Listen, I'm not the biggest Vinicius fan out there, okay? I don't like the nigga, plain and simple. I feel like he can be a bit, you know, overzealous from time to time. But I feel like people are kind of mistaking confidence with arrogance, right? Because Vinny, he believes in himself. You know what I'm saying? They see a black man that believes in themselves and they're like, nah, man, you're an arrogant fucker. You're not a good guy, bro. You're a piece of shit, man. You're a piece of shit. You're arrogant. No, he's just confident. Ronaldo used to dance all the time. Nobody called him a piece of shit. When Paqueta dances, nobody calls him a piece of shit. When countless other white players dance, or players that aren't black dance, nobody calls them a piece of shit. No one says, oh, now they deserve to get called slurs. That's crazy. It is 2026, bro. What the fuck are we doing here, bro? What are we doing here? And it hurts, man. It hurts. As a black person, seeing him having to go through that shit almost every single game. It's not even the first time. And it damn sure won't be the last. I can promise you that. Damn sure won't be the last. Because as long as we're allowing these federations to get away with this shit, nothing's gonna change. There won't be any change. You know what I'm saying? Footballers are just told to shut up and dribble. You know, just shut up and kick the football, man. Don't concern yourself with politics. Right? Just keep your head down and keep it pushing. Sometimes you just can't keep your head down. Sometimes it gets too much. Sometimes you want to punch a motherfucker, and you can punch that motherfucker, because if you do, you're gonna get a fine. You're gonna get a fine for being called a slur. You get called a slur and you get a yellow card or whatever. Even flipping a few days ago, Gift Orban in Syria, he got a red card for protesting when he was fouled. He was grabbed by the hair, by the fucking arm, dragged down, and he complained to the ref and got a red card. That's crazy. How is he being fouled and getting a red card? Not even a yellow, a straight red, bro. Straight red. And I don't even want to talk about this right now, but the treatment of black players in Syria specifically is absolutely repulsive. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. The fact that we are in 2026 and black players are still being treated unfairly, there's still prejudice towards black players, is insane, bro. It is insane. We are letting people that can decide the fate of football players. We're just letting flipping random guys, just racists, bigots, decide the futures of people's careers, basically. You know what I'm saying? Gift Orban could get a crazy ass fine. He could even get fucking released from the team. Who knows? All because he complained, because he was black. He gets a red card. I guarantee you, if a white player does that, the ref is like, hey, calm down, calm down, calm down, it's a foul. Okay, relax. But if it's a black person, you see dreadlocks, you see a couple tattoos, you see melanated skin, you're like, nah, red card, man, red card, get the fuck off my pitch. Get the fuck off my pitch, nigga. You know what? He probably said that. He probably did say that. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. Especially with Vinny. It is not the first time. Won't be the last. You know. I can go back to when last season, or it was the season before that, at Valencia, away at Valencia, they were flipping, making monkey noises whenever he had the ball. And they had to stop the game for like 10, 15 minutes because the racist chants were getting that crazy that they literally had to stop the fucking game. And years removed from that, the same shit is still happening. And I'm seeing Benfica fans saying, nah, this isn't our club. This isn't what we stand for. Our best player is black. So, we're not a racist club. I'm the most disappointed in Jose Mourinho when he said that. He said, well, this club's greatest ever player is black. So, this isn't a racist club. We're a good club. We have good morals. And no, bro, you don't. Your captain is Nicolas Otamendi, one of the most notorious pieces of shit the sport has ever seen. He is notoriously a fucking prick, and he's probably racist too. He probably is. Half of that Argentinian team probably is. You know what? It wasn't even a surprise when I found out that Prestiani guy was Argentinian. It's just in their blood. It's ingrained in them to be racist. You feel me? And you would think maybe they would have some kind of self-awareness, seeing as that Argentina is probably the closest thing we're ever going to see to a fourth world country. But no, there's no self-reflection. There's no, I don't know. Check your mirrors, man. Just check your mirrors. Is all I'm saying. Just check your mirrors, bro. Check your mirrors. Because you can't be throwing stones in a glass house. You feel me? Your country is fucking bummy right now, and you got time to be calling black players niggas. After he scored, after he celebrates, after he dances, he nutted on you, and you have to resort to calling him a slur. That's crazy. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. Honestly, if Cristiani doesn't get a lifetime ban, then the sport is fucking cooked. It's cooked. I feel bad for Vinny, man. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the guy. Sometimes he can be a bit annoying. He can. Like all the petulance, the diving and shit. It gets to a point. But when shit like this happens, you're like, nah, you know what? Maybe I'm going a bit too far. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm going a bit too far. But when I'm seeing people justify him being called slurs, him being fucking called a monkey, bananas being thrown at him, it's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. What? Because he dances every time he celebrates? Because he hits a couple rainbow flicks here and there? Why? Why? How are you justifying him being called a slur, bro? Just because he likes to dance? That's fucking crazy. That is insane. Every single person saying that, shame on you, bro. Shame on you. You're saying, nah, you should just get on with it. You should just get on with it. He shouldn't complain. He shouldn't care about being called a slur. Bruv, his entire race is being disrespected, bro. Because he is striving, his entire race is being disrespected. And you expect him to just get on with it. Nah, that's crazy. That is crazy. That is so fucking out of touch. That is ridiculously out of touch. That is insane, bro. That is crazy. You can't tell a man to get on with it after their whole fucking livelihood, their whole existence just got disrespected. That's insane. Insane behavior. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. I hope that nigga gets a ban. Jose Mourinho as well. I expected so much more from him. Someone that is respected and held so highly in the black community or in the African community. He's had a lot of African players play for him, and a lot of his African players that he's coached respect him highly. They're basically like, yeah, this is my dad. And for him to say that, nah, maybe Vinny, I don't know, maybe he provoked it by dancing. What do you mean he provoked it, bro? He's dancing. How does me dancing mean that I deserve to be called a fucking slur, bro? Nah, man, that's crazy. That is insane, bro. Nah, that's crazy. We gotta stop this shit, man. We really gotta stop. We gotta nip this shit in the bud, man. Because there's a large amount of black players out there. And there's also a large amount of cases that don't get seen because they're not on the big stage. Players in Russia, I know they're getting abused all the time. Even, like that whole region, the whole of Eastern Europe, black players in there, I know they're getting a tough time. I know they're getting it hard, bro. I know they wake up every single morning thinking, you know what, maybe I shouldn't wake up this morning. Maybe I shouldn't go to training, but my family needs the money, you know. I get called a slur every single time in training by my own teammates, but my family needs the money. I need to get through this, you know. And then, like, I'm seeing people say, why doesn't Vinny just stop playing? Brother, he can't stop playing. This is the thing that he loves. If the sport that you loved so much that you dedicated your entire life to it, and someone, just one person tries to ruin it for you, you wouldn't walk away. Obviously, you'd try and stay. I mean, you'd have problems. You want to fight the nigga, but you would want to stay because this is your life. This is your livelihood. This is what puts food on the table. This is what keeps a ceiling over your head. So yeah, man, it's fucked up. It is so fucked up that he has to go through this every single game. It fucking sucks. It sucks that it's 2026 and we still have to have these conversations about players shouldn't do this, fans shouldn't do this. It's crazy, bro. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, man. Um Final message. Keep dancing, Vinny. Keep dancing. I know you won't see this. You're definitely not gonna see this, but yeah, man, just keep dancing. Keep dancing. Don't let them try to dim your light. Keep doing what you do. We love it, even though it might be a bit annoying from time to time, but keep doing what you do. Anyway, hope you niggas have a good one. Like, subscribe, all that good shit. And don't be racist. I'm out. Deuces.